find yourself traveling down a lonesome road, somewhere well off the beaten path. You don't know when it happens, but all at once you feel as if you step through an underwater shadow. The sky you've been breathing turns to ashes, and you decide to flee. You double back, planning to retrace your steps, but find where each of your footprints should be a fully functioning miniature toll booth. You have forgotten your wallet at home. Dark buildings loom on the skyline like the broken teeth of a honky-tonk piano. A voice on the wind beckons you forward, toward the city on the edge of forever. This is the end, you hear it say. This is Population Cat Town.
Hello, and welcome to Population Cat Town. I am Michael MC Clory McClory, and across from me is Jared, the Subway Guy Worthen.
Jared, the Subway Guy. Every time.
How you doing today, Jared?
I'm doing well. How are you, Mike?
Oh, very well. Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, well, I'm. It's my pleasure to have you.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Okay, good. I'm glad. So we're going to talk about our cat towns today. Should we shed a little light on the cat town story?
I think so. You know what? I've been getting a number of emails.
Yep.
A number of comments, a number of tweets.
Yep.
Zero's a number.
Yeah, zero is a number.
But they all want to know, what is Population Cat Town?
What does it mean?
Is this a show about cats? Is
right.
this?
No, it's not.
No, about breeds of cats?
No,
are we cat
it's
lovers?
not, Jared. It's not.
No, okay.
We're not.
We'll shed some light.
Okay,
Michael,
let me.
what
I'm
is
going to shed a little light.
Population Cat Town.
So, basically, what we're referring to a book by Haruki Murakami. 1Q84 came out last year before, something like that, maybe 2012, 2013, I don't know. But it's a series of 3 books, and within that book is a book in a book.
Mm-hmm. A book in a book.
A book in a book. It's just one book in a book. It's not within the book is a book in a book. It's just one book.
One book within a book.
Yeah. So the protagonist of the book, the main book, is going on a little trip, and he reads a child's book called The Town of Cats.
Town of Cats.
And in the Town of Cats, the protagonist of that story, hence the book within a book, that protagonist goes to he's on a train, and he decides to get off early. And he gets off in this town, and it's isolated, and he
completely deserted.
Completely deserted.
There's nothing there.
Nothing there.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
And after exploring a little bit, I think night falls. And as night falls, the town becomes populated with a number of cats.
Cats. Talking,
cats.
Walking,
talking, living, breathing.
I guess regular cats walk.
Regular cats do walk, but these talk.
I feel like they were walking on their hind legs.
Oh, you think they were man cats?
Imagine. Yeah.
Okay.
Man cats.
I imagine man cat. It could have just been regular cats too. We don't know.
Anthropomorphizing.
Maybe you're projecting some anthropomorph.
I probably am.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But regardless, these cats come into town and they're like, something's wrong. I smell a human. And the man himself, he's frightened of these cats.
He's all up in a clock tower.
He's hidden himself in a clock tower.
Yeah.
And the cats go about their regular business, doing their cat things. I can see where you got the anthro... What's the word?
Anthropomorphizing?
Yeah. Anthropomorphizing.
Why I was anthropomorphizing?
Because they're driving their cars, they're shopkeeping, they're eating at restaurants, they're reading books.
Which would be ridiculous to do on all 4 legs.
Yeah, you couldn't do that on 4 legs.
That's madness.
That is madness. So, but the smell of human persists throughout their evening. The man has, the sun rises and the cats again disperse, and he's left to this empty town. And he again just explores, and he tries to escape at this point.
He does. He waits for the train.
He does wait for the train, but the train drives by.
Goes right by.
As if he's not there.
Yeah.
And it seems he's stuck in this town of cats.
It does seem that way.
So, again, night falls, and the cats return, and this time they are sure there is a human amongst them. And our hero has taken residence again in the clock tower.
Yep.
And the cats sniff him out. They get up to the clock tower, and sure enough, human smell.
Human smell.
No human.
No human.
They can't see this
They can't
guy.
see him.
He was not hiding.
He can see them.
He could see them, but they could not see him.
So what does this mean? What does this mean for us, Jared?
Well, at this point, the man decides that this town was specifically tailored to him. It's not a town of cats, more so a town for him to be lost and never recovered.
Yeah.
He's
It's
lost.
a purgatory.
It's a purgatory.
So a cat town is a purgatory.
A cat town is a purgatory, a place to be lost for all time without escape, tailored specifically to your own, I guess.
Yeah. So that is the cat town. So tell me about your cat town, Jared.
Oh, what's my cat town?
Yeah.
All right.
This week in Cat Town.
This week in Cat Town, my cat town is speedrunning. Let me tell you a little bit about speedrunning, Mike.
Tell me about it.
Now, you would think it might be physical exercise. Maybe you run with a certain speed.
I thought regular running was speed running.
No, that is a type of speedrunning, but the speedrunning I'm referring to is in video games.
Right.
Now, this is a growing subculture amongst gamers that I find incredibly intriguing. So take a game, for example, Super Mario Brothers for the NES. What these people will do is they'll play the game at a very reduced frame rate, to the point where they can literally put in any input that they want.
That doesn't sound very speedy.
It does not sound speedy, but the results end up being incredibly speedy. And the purpose of this is to go through the game frame by frame by frame by frame and analyzing each specific input that you put in to exploit all the game's code and get to the end objective. In the case of Super Mario Brothers, it is rescuing the princess at the end of World 8 from a giant turtle man.
Mm.
And now, with these speedrunning games, they have actually gotten it down to less than 5 minutes for Super Mario Brothers. And it's a fantastic thing. You can go on the web, you can watch these tool-assisted speedruns, as they call them, and you can just see the very best possible version of Mario Brothers that you could possibly see.
Wow.
The very best.
How do they know it's the best?
Because, well, they constantly redo it and try and find the best that they can do, and the best time that they found is like 4 minutes and 57 seconds or something. And this is by exploiting a number of different frame glitches and warps, and it works best with a game that has a set outcome, no random generation. It's all based on whatever memory is in the ROM or the card, the game itself. And they do this with every game.
Why are people doing this?
Why are people doing this?
Yeah.
Because I have my own reasons for why I think they might be doing it. But so yeah, let's get into those. Like, when you were a kid, you were playing Mario Brothers, correct?
I was.
You played Mario Brothers. It was a fun game. You explore it. You have places to go. You have things to do. It's all just fun and adventurous. But as technology becomes more prevalent, and we have more and more sensory input, I feel like, let me step back a moment. People are playing these tool-assisted runs to get the best possible times in these games, world records even.
Did they get money?
They
Fame?
raise money. They do all this money, fame, women. No
Drugs?
A speedrunner needs not these things because they're nerds.
Are they on speed?
No, none of them are on speed. I would imagine a number of them are mostly closeted autistic people who are very socially awkward.
The autistic crowd's gonna have it.
Oh, jeez. Well, I have no offense, but I
we'll edit it
from
out.
what I understand.
Don't worry.
Okay, no, it's okay. Let it stand. Okay. So I imagine a number of them are socially awkward, but they have decided that this is what they want to do. And a number of them emulate them on a regular console as opposed to a tool-assisted run. They just know the inputs and what to do to get the desired result. And they do this with all sorts of video games. And I believe, like I said, as technology becomes more and more prevalent, we're exposed to more and more sensory inputs. And as a culture, we want to make sense of things. So as a child, we were not nearly as overwhelmed with sensory inputs. There was no need to compartmentalize. We could explore the world of Super Mario Brothers. It was a new thing. This is a thing for us to do. Now, as people are exposed to more and more on the internet, more and more games that are all-encompassing, They want to do something in a set way and know how to do it. This is how you rescue the princess from the castle. The universe craves structure, and I feel like that's what speedrunning is all about. It's because people are trying to make sense of their own worlds by way of mastering simulations of other worlds we've created. It's a microcosm for how to live life.
So these are the people that like the black and white versus the gray areas. These are the math majors versus an English major, where there's a set outcome and they find comfort in that.
Yes, algorithms, they feed off of structure and design, and they have their own little in-jokes for certain glitches that happen on occasion. They'll be like, oh, that, this happens every time, and whoa, that's so crazy. They have their own, lexicon and terminology for these things, and it's absolutely fascinating.
Like what?
Let's see. For example, I believe in Super Mario World, there's this interesting glitch that you can exploit, where if you're riding Yoshi, you can jump off of Yoshi while he's eating a coin, collect the coin, and as he eats whatever he was supposed to eat, it actually pulls the next sprite off of the screen. So it could be an enemy that was not meant to be eaten, and you're left with a weird power-up in your reserve power-up station. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Super Mario World.
Oh, sure,
but yes.
I am.
Okay,
Of course
Super
I am.
Nintendo.
Yeah.
Now, with this certain power-up that shouldn't be attained normally, it is a world-ending block. So you can literally go into the next world, select that power-up, catch it, end of level. And they use this in certain places to, avoid having to go through an entire long level and sort of cut off times. But it's just an interesting subculture.
So in what way is that a cat town?
There's a cat town, mainly because people are getting lost in simulated worlds,
And they're doing it over and over.
and over and over. It's, I want to do this. I need to do this again. I can do this better. They become lost within the pixels of the game. And I think it's just a metaphor for life in general. This is the human spirit. As I said previously, we compartmentalize what we understand and what we feel comfortable with, and want to relive that to move forward as a society.
So it's like the the woman at Starbucks the other day that I had that was way too overly sweet when she handed me my coffee and my change. She's like, "Oh, here, darling," and she cupped my hand uncomfortably, made sure I got the change, and then she poked her head in to say hi to everyone in the car, and it was just really uncomfortable. But she's doing her own speed running, because what she's doing has a set outcome. She's going to make $7.25 an hour or whatever. And she's not going to it's not the best game in the world. It's not the best job in the world, but she knows how it goes every day. And basically it's the same. And so she's trying to be extra good at that one little task because she's afraid of, the unknown, going into something a little bigger, a little better, with more unknowns.
Absolutely. It's something that
I
feel
like it's the known unknown.
Yeah, it's the known unknown.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that she has familiarity with, that she can process, and she feels she does it well. This, I do this, I do this. I make the coffee, I smile, I give the change, I say hi, move on.
But I'm going to be really fucking good at it.
And I'm going to be the best at it.
Yeah.
The best that could possibly be. And I think people in general do this subconsciously. That's just what people do. You repeat a task mindlessly over and over and over enough, you become better at it than everyone else.
Yeah.
And that's what these people are doing with things that used to be forms of entertainment.
Yeah.
Now, the entertainment comes from knowing what the outcome is, and just reaching that goal faster than your.
So you already know the outcome. You want to see how good you can be at it.
Right.
Like sex.
Like sex.
Yeah.
You
You already know
in
you're
and out
gonna.
in 2 minutes.
You know you're gonna come.
Mm-hmm. I always come to climax.
Yeah, well, that's I come that way as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna come. Let's see how good you can be before that happens.
Right.
Let's see how efficient you can. Well,
Right.
maybe
You know
not
what?
efficient.
If you could
Maybe
break it
efficient's-
down to frame by frame frame,
right.
and choose the inputs during those 2
Good.
minutes,
Well, that's a good. That's
then you would become a speedrunner.
right. Speed fucker.
Speed fucker. You could become a speed.
Hello,
fucker.
speed fucker.
Hello, speed fucker. In this corner, we have speed fucker.
Over here, there's the woman not really enjoying it.
But she is enjoying it because we know the outcome.
Well, the outcome would just be the player, though. I mean, I don't think the person, the game doesn't enjoy it. I don't think.
No,
The game doesn't enjoy being played. You think
I think the game was made to be played, so the game would enjoy being played.
You think so?
I believe so.
Just
Without
because you were
being
made
played-
to do something doesn't mean.
Without playing the game has no purpose. Without a purpose, you can't enjoy yourself.
Are you saying the purpose of women is to be sexed? Is that what you're saying, Jared?
Well, I don't want to get into the biological ramifications of this conversation, but no. There's clearly some something else going on.
It would be a 2-player game.
It would be a 2-player game.
Yeah.
Enter player 2.
Yeah.
Player 2, press start.
You would be entering player 2.
You would be entering player 2. Yeah. There would be loss of life.
1 up.
Ding, ding, ding. I collect coins.
Yep.
Rings, even if you're doing Sonic. But
You there's the mushroom.
you gotta do mushrooms.
Yep.
1-up mushrooms.
1-up
Big
mushroom.
mushrooms. So yeah, I mean, essentially, that was speedrunning in a nutshell. It's an interesting subculture to view, and it's a really interesting slice of life that wouldn't exist otherwise. As like I said, as everything becomes more and more diverse and in depth, people turn to the things that they grew up with for comfort and for just the knowledge of I can do a thing and I can do it right, and I'm going to do it again and again and again and again and again, and it's to be the best.
So in that sense, the Cat Town could also be kind of your youth. This nostalgia, which, like, I don't know, for a while I had an issue with the nostalgic. It just made me uncomfortable. It made me kind of sad. People that were like, like my ex was like really into trying to harness the energy of her youth and like being really into like every chick likes Disney movies, I guess, and they like to watch them and make them feel good. But she was just like too into it. Okay.
Everyone likes Disney
Everyone,
movies.
not just chick. Yeah.
Everyone likes Disney movies, but go ahead.
I'm playing the role of misogynist here on this podcast. So.
That's fine. In real life, I know you're not misogynistic, but to have a podcast, you need to have an opinion.
You need to have the edgy guy. You need to have the edgy guy.
You have to have the edgy guy. You have good cop, bad cop.
Right.
You know what? I was the bad cop earlier about autism.
Yeah.
I don't really feel that way, but obviously I'm painting a picture. That's what I was trying to do. So neither any opinion or observation you hear on this podcast has to be taken with a grain of salt.
Maybe.
Maybe. But I'm just saying, for legal purposes,
right.
That we do not subscribe, or may not subscribe, to the views expressed herein.
You're here.
You're here. They're there. They're there.
They're there. They're there. It's okay.
So anyway, an ex-girlfriend, very feeding off of the nostalgic vibe of Disney movies, and like, what was her outcome? Well, like, what was the goal?
Oh,
what
probably.
Is the goal of nostalgia?
Because being an adult hurts. There's a lot of shit that's associated with it that's not pleasant. And as a child, your needs are taken care of. You're taken care of. You're being looked out for. Most children anyway. And
you would hope.
You would hope. So there's, in a lot of people, I would imagine, like if I were to speed run right now, I would, I would be reharnessing some kind of energy from my youth. I'm just doing the same thing over and over again that I did as a child that made me feel so excited, and in a way that's really sad and kind of pathetic. I don't know. What do you think?
It's sad and pathetic to harness the things from the past that once gave you joy, and you're trying to recapture that.
Right.
Like, should
well,
you
it's
be,
like
should you
it's
be
like an
looking for
escape.
new
Isn't
joy?
that like an escape? Isn't it like kind of like a drug? You should be looking for new joy. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess you have to have a. I guess it's a fine balance because I see nothing wrong with nostalgia. Most of our generation is based on nostalgia. I don't know if you've noticed that. People wear retro is in. You see people with the icons on their shirt. They're not new icons. They're old icons. You see movies come out. They're not new movies. They're rehashes of things that were...
That's just because it's safe and easy and can make a buck.
Yeah, I mean, it has an established audience, but it also feeds off that nostalgia factor. So, I mean, I agree to an extent with you, but I also believe that there is a solid mixture of finding new joy and nostalgia that can be maintained healthily.
You think so? What kind of nostalgia do you try to chase?
Well, I mean, honestly, I still play Super Nintendo. I have not bought a video game system. I have come into possession of newer systems, but I maintain that my video gaming stops with Super Nintendo. And obviously, I was very interested in the idea of speedrunning, which is interesting to me, and it's cool to be able to see people do the tricks that they do after spending so much fucking time with a game. And maybe I would want to emulate that at some point, see if I could do that. Like, I never did that before. So that, I mean, there's that respect. There's finding something new and something that you used to love is always fun. And I mean, I love. I recently purchased a soda I used to drink.
Surge.
I purchased Surge.
Yeah.
I purchased a 12-pack of Surge soda because it's loaded with carbos.
Right.
And I really enjoy jumping over couches to reach for one,
right.
as in the ads.
In bucket hats.
In bucket hats.
Free bucket hats.
Free bucket hats. Surge soda. It's the citrus soda loaded with carbos.
Yep.
And it's
tons
extreme.
of carbos.
So many carbos you won't even know what to do with it.
It's extreme.
It was the energy drink before the energy drink.
That's true.
There was Surge and there was Jolt, which was like everyone was no, don't do Jolt.
That's going down the wrong path.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So like nostalgia for a soft drink is kind of interesting, but I mean, I don't enjoy it. I bought it because this is a novelty. I'm not going to drink Surge for the rest of my life.
Right.
Solely, I actually don't care for the taste of Surge, but it was the nostalgia factor.
But now you have 11 of them. Now you don't know what to do with them.
I have 10 because I gave one away.
Oh, okay.
And this is an interesting fact. I'm going to, when my friend's child is born, we're going to toast with Surge because as children we used to drink Surge, and that's like a weird adult thing to do, but with something from the past when we were kids, and it'll be a special bonding moment between me and another adult male, which you don't have all the time.
No,
as kids you have you have that,
right?
You have the bonding.
Yep.
As adults, sometimes maybe the nostalgia is a way to bond with peers that you otherwise haven't bonded with in a long while.
But maybe there's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
And if your relationship is just based on how you felt about someone in the past, isn't that kind of sad too?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think nostalgia in essence is depressing because it's a beautiful sadness though. Like it's like I used to get so much joy from this.
Yeah.
And I am so upset that I will seek something that I know used to bring me joy.
Yeah.
And if you can get lost in that new joy, good for you. If you don't, well, I mean, find some new joy. Like you gotta look for joy. Obviously, there are issues that people may have that will prevent them from having new joy, like clinical depression or a number of psychological issues, even just socioeconomic issues, emotional issues. You might not be able to find new joy. You might not be in the position for it. So those people might turn to nostalgia solely just to get by.
Yeah.
I'm fine with those people. I'm fine with anybody who enjoys anything. I think that's what it comes down to. I can, I have my own views. I agree with you. There's a beautiful sadness in nostalgia. There's also just a complete sadness.
There are a lot of mistakes to be made. You can miss out on a lot of life, and it's, it's almost like a cop out to me, I guess. And I don't know, an extreme example of that was the girl from high school that I recently dated. That was it was like I kept describing her even while I was dating her, which is kind of a douchey move. But to people as, well, like when you liked a band in high school and you liked them back then, you're really excited about them, and then you pop in their album after high school, and if you listen to it for the first time, you wouldn't like it, but you like it because you liked it in high school. Like, that's how I felt about that girl. It's like, if I met her for the first time today, I'd probably be, But it's like,
but I knew I used to like. But
I knew, like, it was just something familiar, and it was like, okay, it was something that I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. It was like throwing on an old shirt.
Exactly. Yeah.
A shirt that you liked.
And you throw it on, and you're like, this shit doesn't look good. But
no, were there Transformers on this shirt?
Maybe.
Or Ninja Turtles?
There was probably.
Was this a nostalgic shirt?
There was probably a The Ataris album or emblem on it.
See, the Atari. Okay, there's a band that specifically named themselves after something nostalgic. Like, when the Ataris came out, he wasn't naming himself the Ataris to be new or interesting. He was naming himself the Ataris because he enjoyed the gaming device, the Atari, when he was a kid.
And then he went on to make music that was neither new nor interesting.
New nor interesting. So I guess this is a bad example. He ate into his own nostalgic bullshit.
He did. Yeah.
And didn't find new joy with anything else.
Yeah.
And he tried to recapture it, by finding different music styles that were coming out, that were popular, and
then
trying to emulate
his guitar at his drummer in the middle of the show. Which
no shit, that is
he
very
freaked out
douchebaggy
on stage because the drummer was fucking up, and he threw his guitar at him. That's pretty funny.
You know what? Let's say this right here.
All right.
Fuck the Ataris.
Fuck the Ataris.
Not the Ataris, just fuck the lead singer of the Ataris.
Chris something.
Rowe?
Chris Rowe.
Chris Rowe.
Look at that.
Fuck Chris Rowe.
There we go.
If he's listening, fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you, Chris.
Hey, whoa, he was going to be our biggest endorsement. He
would have been. Yeah,
he was going to be on the show next week.
Oh shit! Fuck. Yeah. Fuck him.
Fuck him anyway.
You know what? He is in a cat town, and he would be a great guest. But fuck him.
He would be a great cat town.
He's lost in his own bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's probably about it right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good conversation.
Yeah. We're going on half an hour here.
That's cool. We should keep it to like 30 minutes to an hour, depending on what we've got. But we've had a pretty good conversation. I'm really happy we did this.
Or we can even have another conversation in a bit, and then throw it on the end of this.
Well, we might be back after this break.
We might be back.
I'm Jared, the Subway Guy Worthen.
And I am Michael, MC Clo-Clo, McClo-Clo.
Now leaving
Cat
Town.